So in this video, I did a little painting that was a commission piece. It's on the Greenbay Bridge in Wisconsin. The clients have purchased paintings from me before and they gave me these two references to use. And so I've got to go walk my dog, so enjoy the video. So here we go. I decided to go ahead and paint the canvas black because most of the values in the painting are very dark. And then I started off with using a ruler to keep my lines straight, and then I felt trapped. So I ditched the ruler and started kind of marking my own lines gesturally, because I do think that sometimes it's better to kind of get the concept of a design before you start going in with the fine details. One of the better things about paint is that you can always paint over paint. So something that I did think about is that I've never actually been to this bridge before. I've never seen it in real person. I've never even been to Wisconsin. However, I was given a couple photos to work with to learn the structure, colors, and shapes of the bridge by the client. And then, I spent some time looking at it, studying it, and it kind of made me feel like I was more familiar with it and like I'd been there before. So I just think it's interesting how, I physically have never been here, but we can often trick the brain into seeing or believing certain things that aren't true. And so anyway, I kind of just feel like I've been to this bridge now after so many hours of looking at it. Let me know if that is something that's happened to you or just sounds interesting, or if it's your opinion that I might just be, a little bit crazy. But anywho, I feel like I have come home to this bridge a couple times now. Once I mapped out the structure of the bridge, or kind of like sketched it with those acrylic markers, I decided to go ahead and lock in or key in those darker values for all parts of the bridge and the buildings tucked behind it. And then once I do that, I just start adding lighter values where I see fit. Something that I've learned is that we tend to think that if we can't see it, then it's all darkened out, like, oh, I can't see it, so lights out. But realistically, I've learned that lighter values are shown when something is further away from you, and the darker the values means that the object should be closer to you, and that's because you just can simply see more detail. And so I think that's pretty interesting, and I learned that key this year, 2025, and then I started putting that idea into a lot of my works and saw a lot of improvement therefrom. Oof. Right here, I love the color orange and I love a bold, solid strike of paint. That was really fun to do. I felt very relaxed the whole time I was painting this piece. I don't know what put me in that state, but I was trusting the paintbrush more than I was trusting, exact visuals and so on. Like, I feel like this painting is pretty structured, but a lot of it is also pretty loose, and so I just think that overall it complements really well. Something that I just now noticed as I'm looking back at this video is that apparently I tend to stick to one good brush. Like, I will pick whatever brush I'm going to start with, and then I forget that I have other options behind me. I can see that I started making those tiny brush strokes for the bars or the fence line with the same brush. I just kind of, shot my angle to get those skinnier lines. So right here, so much fun, so much contrast happening. I started adding in some complementary color to that orange, get like a bluish green going on to kind of add in the shadows from where the light doesn't hit. And I feel like it made everything vibrate on that bridge. It was so fun. Okay, I'm a little bit behind in my talking. At this point, I'm starting to add my clouds by using some soft blues. Where I want it really soft, I used my finger. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind now. I'm doing the windows. Oh my goodness. Hindsight is always 20/20, and now that I'm watching myself paint these windows, I really wish I would have adopted that ruler again, but they still came out pretty nice for freehanding them, but the ruler would have made them probably 50% more better. But I do feel like the clouds made up for it. I forgive myself. Value really does play a huge key in my paintings. I love high intensity contrast. The more contrast you get, the more your painting vibrates, and that might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I certainly like it. It just gives me that wow factor. It makes me feel excited, kind of boosts my energy. So whether my mood is, dark, somber, sad, happy, glad, exciting, whatever, you're gonna see a lot of contrast in my paintings because they just make me happy. They make me feel pleased to the eye, you know, when looking at those pieces. And so anyway, here I am adding those reflective lights as I'm reflecting on my painting. And I really just grabbed whatever color was above from the bridge or the building and casted that down with really quick strokes that are pretty short as well. And anywho, I'm really enjoying how that's looking so far. It looks pretty scrumptious. I kind of want to swim in that water myself. I don't know if you can in this area. I have no idea what the rules are there, but I hope you've enjoyed that rambling. I'm gonna give your ears a break for the next few moments. Did you miss me? Okay, great. So right here, I start adding some reds, and this was intentional. I saw them in the painting, and I really feel like it helped lift the water. I think that area was kind of looking flat on its own, and then as soon as I put the red there, it broke down that negative space and made it just a lot more vibrant. Something I really enjoy is fanning out lights with my finger whenever you wanted to have like that soft glow without it looking, you know, too deliberate. So now that the painting has made itself, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the person who ordered this painting. I think that they found me through this YouTube channel, which I think is pretty cool, more so in my shorts section. However, they actually purchased 2 paintings from me, and then after they received those, they ended up getting this commissioned by me. They've already received this painting by the time I've posted this video, but I just think that's so cool that I've made a cool little connection with some folks who seem like they just love to celebrate life. Anywho, that's just interesting that, you know, posting in awkward ways on social media can allow you to make friendships with people that you otherwise would never meet. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope they super like this painting. It was super fun to do. Here we are. It's all done. There you go. Thank you for enduring this with me. I hope you had a blast. Maybe the next video I will not talk as much, or maybe I'll be better at it. All right, goodbye.